I'm doing the full monologue of Damaged Child. I think it began breaking before I even had a name for it. Before I could say hurt. Before I could call it anything at all. Before I knew what was happening to me wasn't normal. Before I knew that love could have conditions, that silence could scream. I remember my childhood like a room that smelled like bleach and absence. No one tells you this, but you can miss people who are standing right in front of you. You can be a ghost in your own house before losing any blood. People looked at me and saw a well-behaved child. Mannered, soft-spoken, mature for their age. But what they didn't see was the way I watched doors. The way I shrank myself like peace required it. They thought I was easy to love, but I was just easy to leave alone. So I became fluent in the language of swallowing things whole. My sadness, my confusion, my rage. God, the rage, it sat in my stomach like a sharp stone, never digesting. I learned to make others comfortable with my pain, to be the comic relief of my own tragedy. Because that's what damage teaches you. To perform recovery even when you're still bleeding. They tell me now that I turned out fine. They say it like it's praise, but what they don't see is the adult version of me still tucks the child version of me into bed at night, and neither of us sleeps. How I stare at messages and wonder if I'm being too much, or not enough, or both. How I still mistake silence for punishment. How I overcompensate in conversation so people won't leave me mid-sentence like they used to leave me mid-childhood. I wasn't raised. I just happened. There's no blueprint for that. There's no guide for what to do when the people meant to protect you become the source of your fear. No one teaches you how to love yourself when your first lessons in life are survival. I still hear that child sometimes. She speaks in the rustling of old notebooks, in the way I flinch when someone raises their voice at me, even when they're not angry. She shows up in the quiet moments, when the world is still and I no longer have to pretend. She asks me, "Are we safe now?" And I never know how to answer. Because safety is a strange thing when you've lived most of your life looking for the next crack in the floorboards. They say trauma rewires your brain. I say it rewires your reflection. Sometimes I look in the mirror and I don't recognize who's looking back at me. Not because I've changed, because I've become a mosaic of every version of myself I've needed to stay alive. And still, there's something beautiful about that. Not redemption, not healing even, but survival that dares to speak. So if you're reading this, if this feels like your voice dressed in mine, know this. You were never the problem. You were never too much. You were just a child trying to survive in a world that kept forgetting to be kind. And you did. And you did survive. And even if some nights you still feel broken, even if some nights still feel like echoes of all the others, you're still here, and that maybe is the most honest kind of healing there is. So let them say what they will, let them call you damaged, but know this, you did not ruin yourself. You were just trying to stay whole in a world that kept tearing you apart. That was the full monologue of Damaged Child. I did it in parts on my YouTube shorts, but now I actually have storage on my phone, so I could do the full thing. Thank you.